What a fucking doozy we have for you all with this one. Right off the bat, I kind of fuck up BCE and AD. Sorry, not sorry. A lot of weed on this program. The other thing, we kind of abandoned the book of Matthew towards the end of this. It's a little strange encountering what the Bible actually says. It definitely was for Reading. And this one, it's fucking awesome. I really enjoyed it, but yeah, this one, it was fucking tricky, dog. Here we go.
Record. I'm recording. Okay, so I got it. I understand. It's not against my will. So yesterday, I told you my car blew up.
Yeah.
Whatever. And so yesterday, I'm doing I thought test driving cars would be a lot funner.
Oh, right. It's not bullshit.
Especially on a Saturday with traffic in the rain, where you get on the freeway and drive 3 stops in the rain. Yeah.
Fuck that.
Yeah. And so my lovely wife was on her first business trip in 17 years since the world ended.
Oh, wow.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So I took the hit while she was gone and test drove a couple more cars without her yesterday.
Okay.
The first one I go, it doesn't matter. It's like some car and it's up on Aurora, 170th and Aurora. And I that's kind of my stomping grounds. And every time I just go west, back behind where like St. Luke's Elementary is and Richmond Beach sort of back there, and kind of end up coming out the back door at Edmonds and drive by my high school and
just
then
do it.
Buy a Happy Burger and all that stuff. And then I keep going south or north up towards downtown Edmonds, and I usually take a right on I don't know what it is right there. You take a right and you go up to Yost Park Pool. It's a 3-way stop, and then when you keep going straight, you're going up Bedoin towards, and if you stay on that road, you get to Five Corners and then Edmonds Woodway High School, the new one, and then eventually back up to the freeway. I was going to take the freeway back down 4 or 5 stops, run the thing a little bit, the thing a little hot. And I spent my whole life at Yost Pool when I was 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. And so I'm going up Bedoin in this car that's brand new and fancy and whatever. And I see this guy across the street, like walking his dog. And I'm like, no way. And so there's a couple of cars behind me. So I can't do a U-turn right away. So I get up and I pull over and the cars go by and I do a U-turn. And I go back and I do the total slow crawl as the window's going down right up next to him. And I'm like, Matt Cameron. He's like, hey, dude, what's up? I'm like, what are you doing here? You're so far from home.
He lives in Edmonds?
Oh, I'm not sure if I'm supposed to say that. Yeah.
We'll just edit just that part out.
He lives in Melbourne. But it's a good hump from there to hit, from where he had to get back to. He's like, I had to walk up some hills today. I'm like, all right, cool.
Because why keep being the best drummer of all time?
Why don't you just go home and play drums for 4 hours? You already did that. Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly. Paradiddle. He's so good.
He's the sweetest dude ever. It's like, it's just amazing. Yeah.
When we were we made a record once at Studio X with Terry. And they were
Terry
Date.
You want me to pick that up? You drop that.
Sorry.
Terrence. I call him Terry.
Yeah. The guy, he made those Pantera records, whatever. Want to touch me? But Jonah and me would always leave our chargers for our iPhones and computers in there. So the days that we were not in the studio, we'd have to go back and be like, "Oh, I forgot my charger." Then we would get to listen to like
Totally
the new tracks.
entirely transparent. Just by the way, thought you were being smooth. You go, sorry, again. God, I just can't remember.
Oh man, I can't believe it. But Sam, the engineer, was
Hostad.
he's so cool.
He's
he was
so tall.
talking, yeah, and so kind. He was talking about like Matt was in there like a day before, and Kim, and they were just sitting on the couch, chilling, hanging out, and they were talking about shows. Like they had an upcoming show, and like Kim was like, "Fuck," and like there was like this little like 4-second pause, and Matt was like, "No, I'm ready to play a show." Like they hadn't played in like 15 years or whatever.
Right. Well,
just like
Kim hadn't played in 15 years.
Yeah.
No, Soundgarden had played.
Yeah.
Matt had toured the world like
Matt
15 times.
17 times.
Right, just around and around and around. Yeah, I think that's I don't know. We don't have to make a whole podcast about Matt Cameron. But if you want to hear a whole podcast about Matt Cameron, you can jump over to Seattle today.
Oh, look at that plug! Yeah, it's good.
Well, and Gall came over and got me ready. So I think I'm ready to.
So it's kicking back off.
Good.
Yeah, good. The people like it. The people like it. I haven't even smoked weed, and I need Visine.
You get Visine. You get Visine. Visine. That's the Rush brand. That's the Rush brand of Visine. Yeah.
It's funny how
I'm not even going to record it because you said fuck me.
There's this funny thing where in my life I've realized that like many of my deep and close personal relationships are from drummers. Like all the drummers I've played with are like really, there's like you, Burke, there's a buddy named Deuce, Aaron. There's a guy, this guy, Ben LeBay, who's fucking awesome. He's like one of the best music. He's like good at guitar, good at singing. He's like an asshole. You're like, they're so talented.
Just like Burke. I hate that guy.
Dude, it's like
everything. He can do everything.
And like, yeah, you'll like spend months writing a song, and then Burke will show up in the van, like the first day of tour, everyone's finally in the van. He's like, "Mind if I put on a CD?" All soft spoken and kind. Puts it in, and there's like 24 new songs that he's written and recorded every instrument to in the last 2 weeks. And it's like, yeah. But so this Ben guy, he grew up very similar to me, Ben LeBay, and he has an idea. He was like, "You guys should do another segment called Youth Group Glory Days and just interview a bunch of your weird friends about their like experiences in youth group."
Well, you don't even have to be your weird for like I was in youth group.
Right.
Yeah, that was like one of the coolest things you could do because at least you got out of the house and there was it was like it wasn't a youth pastor. Peg wasn't a pastor. And, every once in a while you got like we did this thing where we had a sleepover in the new gymnasium for all the kids in the elementary school, in the school.
Okay.
And we were sort of the counselors for that. And that was the first time my brother ever touched a no-no place.
That's the bathing suit area.
the bottoms.
That's so crazy to me too, because
right.
My youth group experience could not be more different. They could not be
less similar.
Like looking back on it, like I had no idea that even that shit could happen. Like you could actually kiss this girl who's been walking with you for 2 hours on this nature trail.
Right on the mouth hole. Yeah. No, I know. It's so funny that and I feel, looking back, I sort of feel like I got poached because there were a couple of older gals who were either like 2 years older than me who had cars. And like one of them was like, "You want to ride home?" I'm like, "Oh yeah, I want to ride home." Do you want to stop by Yost? Yes, I want to stop. Why? What would? Yeah, sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Whatever. You're my ride. I'm going where you go.
Just trying to be sanctified, yo.
Just
trying to be righteous.
Trying to hold the hand of God. Just trying to touch the hand of God.
Ain't that the truth? We're all there, young, like very impressionable.
He's the hand of God.
There's a lot about the hand of God in the Bible, yeah.
And boobies.
There's a little bit about boobies. There's this book called The Song of Solomon. Have you ever heard of this book?
Yes, I wrote it. No, you know why? You know why I'm not into it? Because Burke wrote it.
It's in the
That's
Bible.
How good Burke is.
So I think
Burke's so good he wrote The Song of Solomon.
Well, it's love letters between King Solomon and his side piece.
Ooh, let's call her a concubine.
Well, I don't know if it's pretty rude the way they treated women back then. They have harems and shit. I don't want to I don't want to dampen how gross women got treated during these time frames. But everything he's writing to her is like, your hair is like a field of goats, and your teeth are like white honey, or like milk.
Of goats?
Yeah, it's the weirdest.
You're paraphrasing.
No.
Hold on, I gotta grab my coffee. Yeah. You find it and let me grab my coffee.
I'm gonna find it. Yeah.
It's God. Oh,
okay.
What went wrong? Well, that goes, right? Is Michael McDonald on that track?
Do you have perfect pitch?
No, it's funny.
What?
Cole has perfect pitch.
No way.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think you can edit this part out. I think I do too.
You might. Yeah. You know, what a
fucking waste.
I'm not going to edit that out. You know what my favorite... there was so many things I learned from tuning guitars for you guys, for the loadeds. But you guys played the Showbox once. I can't remember. It might have been with like Mike McCready or...
for the Flight to Mars.
Yeah, and you guys busted out Wild Horses, and then you did fucking 4-part harmony at the end.
Yeah.
That was so bad. It was like, it freaked everyone out in the room. Like everyone at the show was like, "What?" We're all just like, "What the fuck?" Yeah, it's killer.
That might have been my last loaded show.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, to that point.
Dude, why is the internet? Yeah. Why is the internet?
Nothing. How's my internet doing?
Great. It still picks it up.
What do you so, and why was the 4-part harmony so startling to everyone?
I think 4-part harmony. Yeah. I think because harmonies are like I think obviously singing's like the most vulnerable you can be with an instrument, right? It's like it's attached directly to your ego, and like
your face hole.
Yeah, and like it's so pretty and it moves people so much that like I think any band that can sing harmonies has got like a trillion years ahead of everyone else. Maybe it's the Beatles. Song of Solomon 4:1. How beautiful you are, my darling. Oh, how beautiful. Thank you. Your eyes behind your veil are doves. Your hair like a flock of goats descending.
A flock of goats? A flock of goats in what? Sorry, I totally cut you off. A flock of goats in what?
Descending from the hills of Gilead.
Oh, I could see. Oh, like kind of falling curls. Okay.
It's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. It's kind of like late night text messages we still have now from this king and a concubine. I'm like a kid who can't sleep before Christmas morning, excited about this right here. About
Matthew?
Yeah.
About Matthew.
Yeah. Just the whole New Testament in general is so much more crazy than anyone thinks. Yeah.
More crazy than aliens coming down and having sex with women?
Yeah, not necessarily as cool as that. Maybe I should preface it this way. It's well, so the New Testament it comes about really interesting because these are just writings from Christians to Christians. Most of the New Testament is letters from teachers or authority figures to their congregations. This book we're about to get into, Matthew, is a gospel. The gospel according to Matthew, which means the good news according to Matthew. That's what gospel means. And they come about a lot later. Go ahead.
The gospel according to people who wrote it in Matthew's name. Because
that we don't even have to bring that up because that'll just come out all the time. It's the book was written in 85 AD, and so Matthew was most likely very dead by the time it was written. So it's like, yeah,
I'm just coming back around.
Yeah. We can almost every book in the Bible is not written by the person that has the name.
I just like to put that out there all the time.
I shouldn't stop you because we're trying to spread the good word here. So forgive me, Reverend Redding.
Spread the good word. Deacon Redding.
You going for deacon now?
I don't know. Was it Red? Which
I like
Rev Redding?
I like the double R. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it's a Deacon Reverend.
I'm a lyric guy, though. I'm a lyric guy. But this book was. It probably was written by a follower of Matthew or a student of Matthew. So, in all the books, you can say the same, besides Luke, which was actually written by Luke. But let's unpack just for a second.
Yeah. And just for fun.
Yeah.
You figure Matthew is how old when Christ dies? Give or take.
Not much is known. Not much is
30
known.
years, but he's in his 30s. He's probably the same age as Christ.
We're going to assume he's a tax collector. He has a job, so he's not it's not like
he's got a gig. So he could be 30, he could be 40 when Christ dies. So that's at 0, right?
Mm-hmm. So no, that's at around 30, 35. Or excuse me, 28 or 25, 30. Because Jesus is born in 4 BC and he dies. He goes to the cross around his 30th birthday. So we like historians.
I thought he died at 33.
They want you to play Jesus. You go down on both knees, but they want no money back if you're alive at 33. That's a Bono. That's a U2 song.
Well, there's also the if you want to kiss the sky, better learn how to kneel on your knees, boy. Wow. Bono's got some lines, man.
Dude, I was obsessed. But
to love.
Yeah.
No one hates on Bono.
Everyone hates on Bono.
Who hates on Bono?
South Park did a perfect fucking hilarious.
Well, but that was when he was, like dipping his toes into like, who cares? That means that's a good thing. If you're so famous and so immersed in the public discourse that South Park is calling you out.
Oh yeah.
It's pretty
Those
cool.
guys might be the real prophets too. Yeah.
Bono?
No, South Park. Speaking the hard truths. But we were talking about the authenticity of these books. We're just kind of getting into the gospel.
I was gonna say that like, but you kind of shot a hole in it. If dude was, I thought BC. If he was, let's give him the benefit of the doubt. He was 35 when Christ died, and what do people live to back then?
40 to 60.
So let's say he lived to be 60. That's 25 years. That gets us to what? 30. Oh, no.
So
what did you say?
85-ish, towards the very last half of the first century is when this book was written. And another thing.
Edit this shit out. Never mind. Let's keep going.
I ain't editing shit.
I ain't doing shit. This is the good. This is the juicy.
Yeah, what are you talking about? This is great. Well, but the fun point is like these gospels, one, aren't written by the people that they say they are. Exclusion of Luke. Luke was a physician. It was most likely penned by him. He had education. What we're doing, people that just listening don't see the Jamiroquai thing going on over here. Redding's moving his camera around.
I'm not doing it on purpose. It just won't fucking stop moving. This is the you got to use the music room. I'm like, oh yeah, well, it's gonna be trial by fire, brother. Like,
I do. It looks good though.
Well, I gotta stop talking about it first of all. Okay, as you were.
So
You can edit this shit out.
fuck no. So
I'm just gonna keep saying that.
yeah. Well, like, so the gospel, all the books of the Bible are suspect in many other ways that are crazier than just pseudepigraphy, which is someone writing down everything Matthew said and then putting Matthew on it, right? Or someone writing down everything Mark said, putting Mark on it. In fact, even the Apostle Paul was known to dictate his letters, meaning he would speak aloud to a scribe and they would write down his words. So,
you just explain what dictating is?
well, yeah.
Have you ever how did that dictate?
See, I keep trying to explain stuff, and like, should we just talk shit for a minute? Because we do. I keep getting derailed halfway through. I get 4 words in.
I just don't want to. It's the Bible. Why do we have to? Let's just go fucking start it. If it's so crazy, let's get in there.
Okay. So
the Bible needs no introduction.
Well, actually, this one might. So, one thing I want you to keep in mind.
I'll be the judge of that.
Yeah, that's why I'm excited, dog. I'm so excited to hear what you have to say about all this stuff. I'm so excited. So
read it?
The first shit is a little bit boring. I'll do chapter 1. It's a genealogy mostly, and God damn it,
we're starting at Matthew. Oh
yeah, and I want to, before we do get started, I do want to bring up.
Wait a minute, where
Matthew?
Yeah, how come mine starts at Genesis?
Well, do you have the Bible app, or is it?
I just downloaded the one you sent me to.
Yeah, because it's not in
Matthew. Oh, so this is just all of them. That's cool. Okay.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
I got you, dog.
Yeah.
the ancestors of Jesus, the Messiah.
Yeah. Let's just.
Go.
I'll do it afterwards. But Matthew, this tax collector, is a Jew, and his gospel of Jesus is pointed predominantly at Jewish people. He's trying to convert Jews, people who understand the law of Abraham. What's going on?
Go ahead.
So, one, there's all these what they call prophecies.
Yep.
In the Old Testament about this guy, this king, this ruler, this priest, possibly named the Messiah or the Anointed One. And so this
means anointed one.
Mm-hmm, like in certain ceremonies, like Israel, like the priest would pour like oil over like King David's head to anoint him as.
Pissed off that King David did. I fucking hate the oil, man. Why can't you just do water like they do in the other religions? You know, Dave the priest, he never did oil. Yeah. I love that guy.
It's been in my ear for 3 months.
I got the worst infection.
Yeah, so this genealogy is Matthew's device to tie Jesus back to the line of King David, because everyone knows the Messiah comes from the line of King David. And he's supposed to come from this town, Bethlehem. But here's the one thing everyone in history agrees with about Jesus, is that Jesus comes from Nazareth. So the Jews he's trying to reach would know this because they have the Torah, they have these books, and they've been reading them. And so Matthew is probably fudging reality, changing reality a little bit to get Jesus back to David in Bethlehem. So Matthew chapter 1, and Isaac begat
Okay,
Jacob.
I'm totally not there. I'm at this starts at the ancestors of Jesus the Messiah. This is a record of the ancestors.
No. This is beautiful. So what we have right here, if you look up at Matthew 1, right at the top of your thing, you'll see I'm in the King James version.
Oh, okay. All right.
You're probably, what does it say? NLT?
Yeah.
And then find the KJV, which is a horrible translation, and it's been used for years, and that's why
why don't we use a better one?
There's not really a better one.
Oh, that's why. Because the best one is horrible.
Yeah.
Hey, so we got a whole bunch of sandwiches. The best one is a shit sandwich. It goes downhill from there. I'm not. You can try whatever you like, but I'm gonna recommend you stay with the shit sandwich.
The shit sandwich is better. The placenta sandwich down there is not so good.
It's old. It's not fresh. And you know how the placenta
avocado
can go.
girl brought it in. Oh my god.
Placenta sandwich. Oh Jesus.
Oh my god, I'm smoking weed again. And we're trying to read the Bible, folks.
We're getting there. Hey, you know what? You read the fucking Bible.
Yeah.
We'll get there in our own sweet time.
They're doing it. Yeah. They're doing it with us.
Yeah. The placenta sandwich. That's it. We need to trademark that.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. August 20th.
What's that?
Reverend Redding, in effect.
Oh, yeah. That's your first ceremony.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Yeah.
That's badass.
Anybody out there who needs somebody to marry them? For a small donation to the Church of Let's Get High and Read the Bible. I will be, and expenses, of course. Travel expenses. And for me and my deacon, Leif Anderson. For my what do you call the my altar point? What would a non-christened right-hand man be called? What was Ewan McGregor in the second Tom Hanks, the movie with the Dan Brown?
I feel like he was a cardinal.
He was a priest for sure, right?
Yeah.
He just wasn't a cardinal, was he?
Wasn't
because only cardinals were in the room.
They're
in the enclave.
big dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he was personal assistant to the Pope. I don't know what that. There's a name for it though.
Yeah, you've probably got to have achieved X amount of status in the church before you can even get that job. Like a piece of pizza. Treated like a piece of pizza.
Hold the ball. On your knees, boy. All right. Okay. Let me see. Let me hear your best begats.
Too real.
It hurts.
Yes, best begats. Here we go.
Yeah.
Matthew chapter 2. Abraham begat Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob, and Jacob begat Judas and his brethren, and Judas begat Phares, and Zara and Tamar. And Phares begat Ezram, and Ezram begat Aram, and Aram begat Aminadab, and Aminadab begat Naasson, and Naasson begat Salmon, and Salmon begat Boaz, and Rekpah, and Boaz begat Obed and Ruth, and Obed begat Jesse, and Jesse begat David the king. David the king begot Solomon. David the king and King Solomon are like two of the biggest figures, monarchs, kings in the Jewish religion.
Holy shit! I got to go see one. Fuck. What is it about? When I think that the powers that be really are disturbed by our fucking happenings and goings on. They just try to. Maybe I think it must be interdimensional, because they just tweak and fuck and snap and
Yeah. Well, but
flick like.
Or maybe that's Satan. Maybe those are demons that are doing that, trying to distract us from doing the work of God.
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I'm talking about.
Okay, okay. I thought you meant
whoever it is. I mean, those are all. There's no difference between the aliens and the angels and the demons and the gods. They're all the same. Okay. How can you say they're different?
I can't. No, I just no, I can't. Yeah,
like not for sure, right? I'm like, just because you got a book that says some stuff, but it says a lot of stuff, and you got to take it all in. And if you whatever, let's go on.
It's we're starting right now. So, Matthew chapter 1, the book of the generations of Jesus Christ.
Oh, dude, no, you're gonna start.
Oh no, I'm editing that shit out because we just keep interrupting. I don't want our.
Oh,
That's only 5 verses I got to. You're like, dude. There's so many genealogies.
Are we almost done? When are we getting ice cream?
Dude, wait. There's some old. God damn! You stopped me dead in my track. There's like some books of the Bible that have like 10 or 12 chapters.
My
Of
feet are so
genealogies.
heavy.
Who cares? Who cares whose dad was his dad?
I love that we got. Well, what's great about these, and you're going to repeat them, thank God, is that we know all these people. We've heard about. We've been through this whole genealogy.
Yeah. This story is actually will be Jesus' birth too.
All right, begat on.
Begat my mom. Matthew 1, the book of the generations of Jesus Christ, the son of David,
Dun,
son
dun.
of Abraham. Abraham begot Isaac, and Isaac begat Jacob. Jacob begat Judas and his brethren, and Judas begat Phares, and Zerah, and Tamar. Phares begat Ezram, and Ezram begot Aram, and Aram begot Aminadab, and Aminadab begot Neazon, and Neazon begot Salomon, and Salomon begot Booz of Rechab, and Booz begot Od and Ruth, and Obed begot Jesse, and Jesse begot David the king, and David the king begot Solomon. Of her that had been with the wife of Urias, and Solomon begat Robeadam, and Robeadam begot Ava, and Abiah begot Asa, and Asa begot Jehoshaphat, and Jehoshaphat begot Jerome, and Jerome begot Ozias, and Ozias begot Jotham, and Jotham begot Achaz, and Achaz begot Ezekias, and Ezekias begot Manasseh, and Manasseh begot Amon, and Amon begot Joias, and Joias begot Jeconias and his brethren. Jesus Christ, this is hard. And about the time they were carried away to Babylon, and after they were brought to Babylon, Jechias begot Sethiel, and Sethiel begot Zorobabel, and Zorobabel begot Abdiu, and Abodai begot Eklam, and Eklam begot Azar, and Azar begot Sadak, and Sadak begot Achim, and Achim begot Elud, and Elud begot Eleazar, and Eleazar begot Matthion, and Matthion begot Jacob, and Jacob begot Joseph, the husband of Mary, of whom was born Jesus, who is called Christ. So,
Fact check.
about the actually there's early Christian writings that think that Joseph
That suggests otherwise.
suggests that Joseph was created to cover up a weirder, harder truth that Mary wasn't married. So all the generations of Abraham to David are 14 generations. And from David until the carrying away unto Babylon are 14 generations. And from the carrying away unto Babylon unto Christ are 14 generations. Now, the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise. When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. Then Joseph, her husband, being a just man, and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily. But while he thought on these things, behold, an angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take Mary unto thee thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Jesus, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now, all this was done that might be fulfilled, which is spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and they shall call his name Emmanuel, which being interpreted is God with us. Then Joseph, being raised from sleep, did as the angel of the Lord had bidden him. Excuse me. and took unto him his wife, and knew her not till she had brought forth her firstborn son, and he called his name Jesus. So you see how like he keeps bringing Jesus back to David and Joseph back to David?
It's funny. This is the one you read for Christmas? Was it Christmas?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's the birth story. Well, one of them, right?
Well, it's the conception story.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the conception explanation.
Which is weird because the earliest gospel, Mark, which is written like 20, 30 years before this one, maybe, or 20 years about.
No, sorry, was that Matthew 1?
Yeah.
Was that all of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So okay. That's
So
I'm learning. This is a new app for me. Sorry.
Totally
fucking up your program.
No problem. It's just that the earliest gospel, Mark, doesn't include Jesus' birth narrative. It has nothing about his birth. It starts with his ministry. It starts with his baptism.
Right.
So it's like,
was that you fact checking?
No, probably my mouth whistling.
Whistling. Okay. I think this is important enough, Leif, that I need you to start at 18 and do it again.
Okay.
Because that's the whole fucking game right here. And you're totally right.
Yeah.
I want to be able to like
you want me to go 18?
Yeah.
Here we go.
Birth of Jesus. Yeah. No,
Matthew
please.
chapter 1, verse 18. Now the birth of Jesus Christ was on this wise. When as his mother Mary was espoused to Joseph, before they came together, she was found with child of the Holy Ghost.
Hold, please. So this is saying that this is exactly why I wanted you to do it, because it deserves it. Like, wait, so right there, he's saying before they came together, before Joseph got to it.
Yeah.
But they were already married?
They were like engaged. So they weren't married. They hadn't consummated their relationship. They hadn't gone through the ceremony.
Does it say that?
That's just what's implied with espoused.
Mother Mary was espoused. Oh, gotcha. Okay. And before they came together, she was found with child. Oh, see, this is that same thing I had with the Christmas. Like, no, Joseph. No, listen. It was the Holy Ghost. No, I promise. You're the only one. It was the Holy Ghost who came to me and said, it's going to be the Son of God. Son of God. You'll be the father of the Son of God. No, he won't look like you.
Yeah. And there is like, I don't think the story is creditable. I think it's like really
credible.
Yeah. Thank you. I just hit a huge hit of this pipe. So it's like from a different anti-Christian historian, and there's too many wrong facts in the story. Scholars throw it out, but he has a story of this all being a cover-up because Mary was raped by a Roman guard. And so, she had a baby out of wedlock. And so that can't happen in the Jewish faith. And a prophet and a Messiah, a man of God, could not be born that way. So they have to invent a way to make Jesus the Messiah, because he's their Messiah. So they're like, well, let's misinterpret this verse from Isaiah about a young woman and say that's about virginity. Boom.
Well, that sounds like two sides of the same coin, and there only being one coin to choose from.
Yeah.
It's like, there's Republican and Democrat, but those are the only choices. There's no other way to look at it.
Fucking right.
Yeah.
And the other thing is there's just even in the Bible, neither of the birth narratives agree. Right? They have vast differences. They one's in a manger.
It's because they're not real.
Exactly. They were written.
I've got an early Easter present for you. It's going to be a little tiny chocolate egg. They're not real.
Now, Jesus was fucking real. And there's proof. And I tried so hard when I was super atheist.
The fact check.
I tried so hard to disprove him. I tried so hard. So yeah, he definitely was a real person that was crucified for trying to overthrow the Roman government. But the stories that are written down about him 30 to 45 years after his death in an oral tradition that had no concern for facts, times, or dates is a little what the kids call sus.
Yeah, I'm sorry. And we didn't even get past the first sentence.
So yeah. So you want me to keep going?
Yeah. That's why it's like, wait, no. We're not blazing through this one because it's like
there's
this
no
is what
blazing.
You wanted. This is what you wanted.
And dude, it's like we're not. Yeah, I want to keep it here. I'm too excited. So, verse 19. Then Joseph, her husband.
Oh no, we're not. You're not even through. Oh, that is 19. I'm
child
sorry.
of the Holy Ghost. Yeah.
19 shows up right in the middle.
Then Joseph, her husband, being just a man and not willing to make her a public example, was minded to put her away privily. But when he thought on these things.
Okay, hold. That's a whole verse. So what is it? What does the italicized man mean?
Let's look it up. I have Bible Hub.
Does it mean he's not divine?
I think that's what I would have take. But let's go Matthew 1:19 original.
Found, but and before they she was found with child of the Holy Ghost. This is just
okay. Oh, so I'm assuming that's 19, right? I gotta make sure. Good. Yeah.
19.
It's implied in the original Greek. It's not there. It goes original Greek. Joseph, now the husband of her righteous being, and not willing her to expose publicly, proposed secretly to send away her. So it's like in translation to English, they put that in there. You good? You need a you need a hug?
Totally. Need more than one.
All right.
I need a series of hugs.
But when he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thou son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife. For that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Ghost, and she shall bring forth a son. And thou shalt call his name Jesus, capital, all capital, for he shall save his people from their sins. Now all this was done that it might be fulfilled, which is spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Behold, a virgin shall be with child, and shall bring forth a son, and shall call his name Emmanuel.
So yeah, this is just whatever. Okay. So and this is Matthew. This is Matthew showing up with this.
Yeah.
Or Matthew's lineage of
Matthew's a super Jew. Matthew's a member of the Jewish religion and ethnicity, and he is trying to reach a Jewish audience that may have heard of this guy, Jesus. They killed him. And here's the thing. In the Old Testament, there's not a single reference to the Messiah dying and raising again. The Messiah doesn't die. The Messiah comes and allows God's people to worship God in his chosen land for them without any governing authorities, Rome, Babylon. See, because Israel keeps getting conquered over the years because of this tiny, small nation, right? And so this Messiah is going to take the yoke of these pagan idolaters off their shoulders, because when Rome conquers you, you've now got to pay a tithe to Caesar, and everyone worships Caesar as a god. But if you're a monotheistic Jew who doesn't believe in other gods, that's against your religion. You can't worship other gods. So Matthew knows this. He knows that all the people he's speaking to know this. He knows that all the people he's speaking to go once a week and listen to the scrolls of the prophets being read aloud, that they talk about these things, that they would have understandings of.
He's singing to the choir. Or he's trying to sing to the choir.
Yeah.
Okay. And it's not even, honestly, it's like it's such a it's such a story. You know what I mean? It's just such a straight line story that it's not even worth picking apart. Because who does that? Who's gonna like?
Good question.
There haven't been. The gods are gone, right? The gods have been gone for a while. God hasn't shown up.
Well, see, God shows up here. God shows up in just a couple chapters.
It says so it
According,
says that.
Yeah, keep going.
It says that he came to Joseph in a dream, but that's just.
Yeah, would Jesus,
Joseph never said he came to him in a dream.
When Jesus gets baptized, God like opens up the heavens and talks to them, and then later on, after his ministry, there's this thing called the Mount of Transfiguration.
We're not there yet. We're not.
Well,
there
okay,
yet.
Yeah, but point being is God shows back up, like.
But right now, but at the beginning of this, he's not here.
Yeah, but yes, okay, yeah. But like, these stories aren't even in any other like.
What? Okay, but we're reading it because it's the Bible.
Yeah. Okay. It gets even more fucked, and as we go, we'll find out.
These stories are stupid and not part of the Bible, but we're reading them because they're in the Bible.
Oh, this is exactly.
Okay, so this is what you've been waiting for, huh? I'm like, poke.
I'm just gonna let you go, brother.
Would you stop shooting holes in the boat? It's our salvation.
It's really rough. And to be honest, like. This figure of Jesus, there's so many different narratives about him. There's so many different stories about him. It's hard to know what to trust. There's not very many of his young life. Right. The ones that are of his young life aren't included in here. Dude, he kills. He withers little kids, kills teachers. Like this teacher smacks him up the head in school, and Jesus like withers him on the fucking spot.
So good.
It's so good. But that's, this Roman propaganda document, the 66 books known as the canonized Bible, was put together in almost the 4th century, at the very 365 fucking AD by.
So what we should be doing is reading the one that was that people were reading the day before that one came out.
Those are called the apocryphal books of the Bible. We will.
We want to read Bleach, not Nevermind.
Yeah, Nevermind is perfect. Nevermind is a perfect album.
I'm just using a parallel.
Okay.
I wish the Bible was as perfect as Nevermind, but it's not. Too. You know, I'm just saying that like that's we want the stuff before the glossy. We want the Jack and Dino mix.
Yeah, and the real reason we're starting with Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, or we're starting with these books of the canonized Bible is because, in my opinion, growing up in church the way I did and being so fervent and believing so hard, you realize after a couple years that you're not actually reading the Bible. They're just taking certain verses, cherry picking them, and then expounding on them for 35 minutes every Sunday on what they call a sermon. And it's like, there's so many other sections of the Bible. There's so many other stories in the Bible. So these stories, even though like they're suspect and like there's a lot we can trust in them, and we'll get to that too. But the Christians who are people, let's not say Christians, human beings who have grown up in some weird form of religion, I think that's what's unfortunately been kept from them is the real of what's going on here historically, contextually. And so like they'll be familiar with it. We can start them with this. We could talk through the whole Bible. And then when we get to the apocryphal gospels that might even be much more trustworthy than these books, we can start that'll be like, let's do DMT and read the Bible. That'll be like season 67.
Okay.
Then let's do this. No, I feel like that was good, right? We got everything out of that we could. Right?
Oh, are we done?
No. Chapter 1. I'm just saying chapter 1.
Oh yeah. No, that was the. I mean, that's why, and I apologize that it took me so many times for you to so many start and stops, but it was just that deserves that explanation. It's like this is just a guy trying to draw a straight line for followers or somebody, and not even a guy really, like whoever the guy's guys,
multiple guys. Yeah, it could have been a whole group of human beings strategizing on how to reach these people.
And like you say, at this point, we don't even know what the other stories were, because 400 years after this was, well, I don't even know. So I can't even talk about it. But yeah, I think we just keep going.
Yeah. So now that I'm baked, why don't you do chapter 2?
Okay.
I just wanted to get you past the genealogies.
I appreciate that.
I didn't want you to do that.
No, I don't. Okay, I'm not entirely sure how to.
There's an arrow, or sometimes you can just swipe.
Wise men from the east.
Yeah, dog.
All right. Now, apparently, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea. Don't micromanage my reading.
Oh man, I'm sorry. I'm just high.
Totally joking. Don't fucking do that. I gotta figure out this working.
Shut your dirty mouth.
Your dirty, filthy mouth. Now, when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are coming to worship him. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah. For out of thee shall come a governor, that shall rule my people Israel. Then Herod, when he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when ye have found him, bring me word again, that I may come and worship him also. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they came into the house, they saw the young child with Mary the mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. And being warned of God in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed into their own country another way. It's nice that Joseph wasn't around, and he just kind of like let Mary do her kind of single mom thing there for a while.
It continues. There's other verses where he's not around too. Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Wait, was that 2?
That was 2.
Did you go all the way down?
I think. Hold on.
He shall be called a Nazarene. That's the last verse. No, because they go. Oh,
I'm sorry. Yeah, the flight to Egypt. Right.
There we go.
And when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise. He was asleep. He was asleep the whole time. He was asleep. Leif, I'm asking you a question. He was asleep. You read this thing.
Spoiler, sola scriptura. I have to stand on the word of God. He was asleep.
And when they departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeareth to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee into Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When this is so dumb. Seriously, like this is no better than this is like Star Wars, which is like what's the dude's name? Tom Cruise's thing, Oh,
Scientology?
It's just like Scientology. It's like Star Wars.
Yeah. Oh, it gets
like,
yeah.
This is
Sure. Well, also, by the way, how could you tell where a star stops? Like,
stars don't stop, and it was a planet, and they don't stop.
and yeah, like, could you tell what house? Isn't there? There's like a Monty Python movie about that, with Life of Brian, right?
Life according to
Yeah,
Life according to Brian.
Where this, like, they go, the shepherds go into the wrong house.
He's not a prophet. He's not the son of God. It's amazing. Go away. Follow his shoe. And when they departed, behold, the blah, 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 child, night, Star Wars. Herod will seek to destroy. I will destroy you. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the Lord of the Lord by the prophet, saying, out of Egypt I have called my son. Now, how old? Have you done the math on this?
Well,
like
this
how long is
not real.
how long is?
How long is? I have the journey's only like I forgot. I did look up that journey. Let's see. How long is the journey?
No. How long is it from Jesus' birth to Herod's death?
I think Herod died in around like 39 BCE. But how long is it from Jesus' birth till Herod's death? Herod died right around the time Jesus was crucified. This Herod, I think he took power around 6 BC. When he was.
Are you following what I'm? Are you gathering what I'm scattering here?
Oh no, I'm not at all. I was just trying. Herod Antipas. I've been reading a lot about. So
this says that. This says, when he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod.
Oh yeah, let's look it up, because I might have just quoted the wrong dates, like a high dick. Herod Antipas. I'm looking it up. So, your question, I think, now that you state it that way, so give me 2 seconds to unpack this. I think I can. This is one of 2 birth narratives we have of Jesus, right? And they both contradict each other, right? They both say different things. So this one says Jesus was born in a house, goes to Egypt. The other one says Jesus was born in a manger, goes to Bethlehem. So why do you think people writing stories about Jesus would include contradictory facts like this?
That's not mine. Okay. We're reading this one, and we don't have the other one.
I'm answering this question. I'm trying to, at least.
Well, you just asked me a question, so that's not answering my question. You're asking me a question.
So you're asking, what are the factualities around Jesus' flight to Egypt when it happened? I think all of this is completely fiction.
Yeah.
I think so. Like, the problem is there's all these different prophecies about the Messiah. One, he comes out of Egypt. One, he's born in Bethlehem. One, he's a conqueror. One, he's so depending on what the Jews were reading about the Messiah and believed is going to reflect what they write. So Matthew knows that he's supposed to be born in Bethlehem and he has to come to Egypt. So Matthew invents a narrative of how this happened to explain to the Jews.
Okay, so you're like, why? Let's not pick this up. This is still part of the thing we shouldn't pick apart because it's so dumb.
Well, no, it's not. We should pick it apart. This is perfect. And when the examples come up, because there are a bunch of true things we can know about Jesus from this too, because Matthew is part of what is called the synoptic gospels, Matthew, Mark, and Luke. And what it means is Mark being the first gospel, like 40% of Matthew and Luke copy Mark almost verbatim in stories and the whole thing. So essentially Matthew, as one of its like biggest sources, used the book of Mark and then added stories to it. And then Luke does the same thing. They take a bunch of chunks of Mark and then they add like beginnings and endings to it, because Mark starts off with Jesus like getting baptized and then his tomb being empty. And the women go away, they say nothing. So now there is a different ending of Mark because it got added on later, but that's the original, what these guys would have been copying. So this story is fucking completely fake. And the Bible itself, if you read it enough, proves it. And it was most likely because these people didn't care about this. They just needed a reason, right? These people don't care about history or facts the way they do. They're illiterate. They come from an oral tradition. And back then, these stories, they did not care about the facts. They cared about the essence of the story, right? It's too much.
No, I'm just like, I mean, if that's a question at the end, I don't have an answer for you.
Well, I think that you'll find a lot of religious people try to argue the opposite, but
I'm not arguing.
Yeah, there's no proof. That's the problem. And the stories change with little details, so we know they don't care. You know,
Well,
but
yeah.
But so that's it. This is and any.
Did I sign up to read an entire book of bullshit? Is that what I signed up to do?
Yeah,
like, look, at least the Old Testament was like, dude, just seriously, it's gonna take a long time to get through this if it's all this bullshit.
Yeah,
we're just like, no, this is what they said. No, this is what he said. And it's like, no, fuck
it's
you.
It's so
like,
rough. Yes, exactly.
Right, let's just keep going then, and whatever. Okay, so then so Matthew 2:16. You're like, this is exactly what you wanted. How long is Matthew? How fucking long is Matthew? This is bullshit already.
27 or 32. Let me look.
Oh, okay, good. It's short. Okay.
No, I mean they're long chapters.
That's fine. It's fine. We'll get through this.
We'll get there.
Then Herod. So Matthew 2:16. Oh no. Yeah, until chapters. Herod was dead, might be fulfilled. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceeding wroth, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem. That's dope. And in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he diligently inquired of the wise men. This then was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy the prophet, saying, In Ramah was there a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning, Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not.
So I have to stop this again.
We don't have to.
Okay, keep going.
Return to Nazareth. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth in a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life. As he arose and took the young child and his mother and came into the land of Israel. Oh, and he arose and took the young child and his mother and came into the land of Israel. But when he heard that Archelaus did reign in Judea in the room of his father Herod, he was afraid to go thither. That's not a word. Notwithstanding, being warned of God in a dream, he turned aside into the parts of Galilee. And he came and dwelt in a city called Nazareth, that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophets, he shall be called a Nazarene.
That's not true.
Yeah. His baptism and temptation. John the Baptist.
Wait, we gotta.
No, we don't. No,
yes,
we don't.
We do.
Okay.
Because it's not just for us; it's for the people listening.
Okay. So,
right.
Whatever.
Well,
you
remember
the thing
from,
is.
Oh, sorry.
So the people who are listening, why? What? We're going to explain this is bullshit to them?
Yes. Some of them don't know.
Well, so you want to explain every part of bullshit that's in the Bible?
No, just these blurry ones. Because do you remember from the fucking Christmas special about this genocide thing?
Yeah. You said that there was it would have been, there were genocides and this one wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, there's no other evidence anywhere else in history of Herod killing. I mean, you think if he killed all the 2-year-olds and under, that people would write about it somewhere in a newspaper, in a book, and It would.
Well, did they have newspapers and books?
Yeah, they had lots of writings around that time. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah.
So you feel good. So what this points to, and even scholars, Christians, most Christians will tell you that the Gospels are written to different groups of people. So the writers included different stories to reach those people better with the gospel. But these ones are mostly invented. That he's misquoting the Old Testament. He's making up historical events that never took place, and he makes up a travel that never took place. So why don't you tell us?
My problem is that the explanation doesn't mean that like this is a document that everyone is supposed to be basing their life on, that no one's read, that's full of a bunch of things that were fabrications to means to an end.
Yep.
2,000 years ago at best.
Yep.
And so like I guess it's interesting. I guess it is interesting to it just makes me mad to hear the explanation. Like but I guess that's sort of what we're doing, is like just poking holes in it, and it's just like, oh my God. Like, I don't know. I just know innately it's full of shit. you know specifically the stories, and I'm like, oh my God. I don't like being right this much. It's like, and it's just really, and maybe this is exactly what I signed up for.
Dude, it gets worse.
Dude, it's so
it gets so much worse. But like, here's the one thing.
Again, but the part about like these angels coming down, it's like, that's just bullshit. Like, at least in the Old Testament, they were there, not like visions, not like the sky opened, like walking around, hanging out with dudes.
Well,
and all this is just like, well, they said it then, so we're going to say it now too.
Yeah, so I'm trying to like sharpen some of my explanations of some of this shit so I don't waste time, because I get high and I want to have correct, But yeah, there's this revolutionary figure who tries to overthrow a government to more correctly practice his religion, and then years later people have taken and changed stories and made up stories, and they invented. By the time we get done reading this, you're going to realize Jesus was he would not even be able to worship himself. He's a Jew who's trying to bring about Judaism, and then all of these stories are fucking fucked. And we've been killing each other over them for years. We've been fighting for years, yelling at each other for years. And well, maybe I'll even edit that last part out, because I think you ended that last section pretty good. I'm just ranting out of anger now. Yes, it's crazy.
Well, that and seriously, like, I get it, and that's that's sort of your cross to bear, is that you're so immersed in this and know it so well that like you have all this. I don't want to hear all this bullshit.
Yeah,
I don't want to. Like I said, I know I'm right. It's like you innately I know that I'm like, it's all a bunch of, and to find out that not it. I was hoping that. And we're not even out of the first 2 chapters of the first fucking, at least there was a creation myth at the beginning of the Old Testament.
Right. Yeah.
But this is like, just like, oh, here's something for you, that because you're not very smart and we just want you to follow. Okay. This is like sheep. This is like talking to sheep. And I don't want to, I find it hard to read stories that are pointed at sheep.
The whole imagery is that Jesus Christ is God walking amongst us, and he's our shepherd. We are sheep. Your whole life is to do the will of Christ, your Father that art in heaven. So, but this John the Baptist guy that comes up, I think is fucking rad. So.
Yeah, well, we're not there yet. We still got this stupid return to Nazareth shit. Or did we just do that? Oh, we did.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, we're done.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Let's get to someone cool. Let's get to someone who goes out in the desert and does fucking peyote.
Dude.
Yeah. Okay. His baptism and temptation. John the Baptist, Matthew 3:1. In those days came John the Baptist, preaching in the wilderness of Judea and saying, Repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. For this is he that was spoken of by the prophet Isaiah, saying, the voice of one crying in the wilderness, prepare ye the way, prepare ye the way of the Lord. Make his paths straight. And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair and a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and wild honey. And the same John had his raiment of camel's hair and a leathern girdle about his loins, and his meat was locusts and honey. So I don't know what a raiment is, but I know what a banana hammock is.
Can you imagine, like?
So what you're saying is you walk around in underwear and eat bugs and honey
out in the desert. Talking about Jesus, or talking about God coming back to judge everyone.
Are you hungry? I got bugs and honey.
I love him.
He's so
my dude.
And you know what he looks like? He looks like Will Ferrell as the guy playing cowbell in
totally like tall.
Tall, like ginger like Jerry Curl,
but full fucking beard, like crazy hair, crazy curls, crazy beard, kind of like Tom Hanks-ish
at the end of when he's running as
totally in Forrest Gump.
Forrest Gump, he's the running Forrest Gump.
Yeah, and like he could have been like. I think he's rad.
I need to actually Google what arraignment is.
Oh, okay. And he is? No, actually I don't. But this figure is he gets talked about. He's very popular. Like, in fact, some people, he had so many followers that back then many people thought he was the Messiah. And so there was actually whole denominations that taught and evangelized and had missionaries that would of John the Baptist, who went around teaching that he was the Messiah and not Jesus. So, because you're looking that up, I'm just talking to fill the spot right here. So, Matthew's trying to show that Jesus is more important than this huge dude, John the Baptist.
Oh, okay. Well, unfortunately, I think that raiment is a fancy robe.
Well, I bet it was open in the front. We'll say that.
Doesn't look like it. It looks like it's got like a.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, so also the thing is back if you were a priest back then, which is essentially what this guy is, like a prophet, a priest, you were kind of a baller, right? You got paid well.
Right.
Rome, you had to pay a little tax to Rome. And then you basically ran everything. So this guy living out in the woods and not caring about wealth, it's a whole statement to who he is. He's like, he's trying to commune with God so heavily that he's given up all material possessions, even food. Yeah.
Well, no, he's got bugs and honey.
Yeah. Finds them out in the desert.
Okay. Wow.
Bugs and honey.
Locust and wild honey. It's better than that shit sandwich. Then went out to him Jerusalem and all Judea and all the region around about Jordan, and were baptized of him in Jordan, confessing their sins. And when he saw many of the Pharisees and Sadducees Sadducees come to his baptism, he said unto them, O generation of vipers, who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come? Who hath warned you to flee from the wrath to come?
Yeah, dog.
Bring forth therefore fruits meet for repentance.
Yeah. And
think not to say within yourselves, we have Abraham to our father. For I say unto you that God is able of these stones to raise up children unto Abraham. And now also the axe is laid unto the roof of the trees. Therefore every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. I indeed baptize you with water unto repentance, but he that cometh after me is mightier than I, whose shoes I am not worthy to bear. He shall baptize you with the Holy Ghost and with fire.
Fire.
Whose fan is in his hand, and he will thoroughly purge his floor and gather his wheat into the garner, but he will burn up the chaff with unquenchable fire.
It's like the fan is like this thing they would use to cut down the grass, right? And so
like a sheath,
and
like
he said, I mean, like, this is obviously accredited John the Baptist. We don't know if he said this, but from that, I don't know what you get out of it, but it's like he's saying that, like, all you priests and righteous ones that keep the law of Abraham and think you're doing right, you know, the end is coming, and anyone who's done bad is fucking going in the fire. The axe is at the root of the tree, you know, like, and it's an actual full-on belief back then. Many Jews believed the Messiah comes and then he sets up God's kingdom on earth, and then that's heaven. So, like, they believe they're at the end of time.
Well, that's what Joseph's saying.
There's like, yeah, that's what people think John the Baptist was a part of, is these groups, and because post-apocalyptic Jews, and like, it's like a massive thing. That's why there's like so many different people that came as Messiah, because, you know, these beliefs that they were at the end of time. So they thought it was their solemn duty to kill anyone that didn't believe in Yahweh and cleanse the land so he can, like, come back, basically. It's like, and I do think John, like, the more we read about him, is a part of that group.
Okay.
I also think Jesus is.
All right.
You don't find this interesting?
I like the part where he's saying that you guys are worshiping Abraham, but it's God who you should be worshiping.
Yeah.
And no, also the axe is laid unto the tree, therefore the tree. And God is the axe.
Well, I don't know. I think it's God's judgment. Maybe it might be something like that. Like,
well, in every tree we're the tree, and if we don't have pure fruit, God's will is gonna chop us down.
Lots of agriculture references.
Yeah. Agriculture was real big back then.
Oh, huge! Everyone's a farmer.
Right. Okay. And whatever. I mean, like, again, I'm not whatever. The baptism of Jesus.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, dog.
Then cometh Jesus from Galilee to Jordan unto John to be baptized of him. But John forbade him, saying, I have need to be baptized of thee, and comest thou to me? And comest thou to me? And Jesus answering said unto him, Suffer it to be so now, for thus it becometh us to fulfill all righteousness.
So let me point out something real quick. In the New Testament, anytime you see red, that is Jesus talking. So those are supposedly Jesus' words.
I don't see any cliff notes. What do you call it? Like the
there's so much commentary on all these.
No, I mean, like, so I don't see any credits. Like, I don't see any you're supposed to have what are the God?
Yeah. Where they cite where it's from in the back. Yeah.
I don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't see it on there. They must have left it out on this one.
Well, and it's, I mean, none of the people that wrote these books were around Jesus when he said this stuff. So something to remember.
Yeah. Well, then what did he say? He said,
Fuck your mother.
Your mom goes to college. Yeah. Then he suffered him. And Jesus, when he was baptized, went up straightway out of the water. And lo, the heavens were opened unto him. And he saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lighting upon him. And lo, a voice from heaven saying, "This is my beloved Son, in whom I am well pleased." So wait. Whatever. I'm not even going there. It's like,
why not?
Because does this say that only Jesus saw the heavens open?
It kind of does, huh? Because
kind of does.
Yeah,
and it was a bird, and it's a bird, so he's got a talking bird.
And I could prove that with the Bible, but I don't want to spoil the front, so we're not. Yeah, I was gonna say we're gonna skip it. So a bird comes down, only Jesus sees it. Yeah, I think we're safe to.
And lightning.
This.
And lighting upon him.
It's just nice verbiage, just some
lighting upon him. He sits on him. The bird lands on him.
Like there's a beam maybe coming from heaven, and the bird comes down it.
No. He saw the Spirit of God descending like a dove and lighting on him, like lands on him. Lighting means, yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of see don't you see a bad Sears? When they superimpose the people through different photos, the heavens open and a light slowly comes down and then meets him. And I was trying to make that fucking work, but I don't know what's going on your phone. I could not. Oh, you're reading it?
No, I just wanted to. Lighting upon him. It doesn't mean illuminated. It doesn't mean illuminated.
I just like to think of it as illuminated, right? It was 8 pound, 2 ounce baby Jesus.
It's fucking God. And whom well. So he's the only one that hears it. All right. Yeah. So we're next. Are we? Is that Matthew?
I mean, if you want to, let's do it. Yeah.
Yeah. His fucking temptation. This is it. Where's the fucking backstory with Christ, man?
No, dude, this is fucking what I'm talking about. This is what I'm so excited about. Yes.
We're not even, we don't get any fucking baby Jesus stories. Where's fucking baby Jesus?
There was no baby.
There's none. None. This is it?
Well, we already read it. We already read the first one. There's one more in a different book, but it's short like this. This is it.
That's it?
Well, because people only care about his ministry.
It didn't even say where he came from before he went and found fucking John.
Well, yeah, because that's the problem is that's controversial back then because all the Jews Matthew's trying to reach know that the Messiah is not from Nazareth, and they know that Jesus is from Nazareth. So he's not even bringing it up. He's like, he invented an ironclad story, he thought, with some real artistic liberties. What'd you call that?
Yeah.
What do you call that in the writing world?
Yeah, the liberties. Editorial. Yeah, dude.
Yeah, he's trying to convert Jews who already believe in Judaism to his new religion about a guy from Judaism. So how is he going to do that? Wham, bam.
Okay, but is that what this whole book is about?
Well, the whole book, the gospel of, gospel means the good news. So the good news of Matthew is all about Jesus Christ, right? And so these
it's not all about him. It's very specifically about him in very specific points of his life, and leaves out a whole bunch of all of him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm, it's he's the subject of it, but it doesn't have his whole story.
Oh no,
fuck was he? All right, dude, I'm gonna have a problem with it. So honestly, we might have to not read. We might have to do the uncanonized, like I said,
right
the Bleach version.
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know if we go on like this.
Oh, it's worse, dog.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying is we might have to temper it with the Jack and Dino version of book. What people were reading.
Hi, Jack. Love you.
Yeah, no, he's fucking. He. All right. Okay.
Yeah.
You got me riled up. You were hoping for it. You got it. Next, please. Matthew 4, his temptation. Then Jesus led up the Spirit. All right. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness. So we're done with John now? That's it.
Oh,
John's
yeah,
still
because
here.
well, no, yeah, John gets killed pretty soon, and that's that's in there.
This is a stupid story. No wonder Martin Scorsese felt so comfortable doing The Last Temptation of Christ, because he's like, I can do better than this.
Dude, it's rough.
Right.
It's rough.
Okay, his temptation, Matthew 4, chapter 1. Then was Jesus led up of the Spirit into the wilderness to be tempted of the devil. And when he had fasted 40 days and 40 nights, he was afterward and hungered. And when the tempter came to him, he said, if thou be the Son of God, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said that it is written, man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of God. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city, and settleth him on a pinnacle of the temple, and saith unto him, if thou be the Son of God, cast thyself down, for it is written, he shall give his angels charge concerning thee, and in their hands they shall bear thee up, lest at any time thou dash thy foot against a stone. Jesus said unto him, it is written again, thou shalt not tempt the Lord thy God. Again the devil taketh him up into an exceeding high mountain, and sheweth him all the kingdom of the world and the glory of them, and saith unto him, all these things I will give thee, if thou wilt fall down and worship me. Then saith Jesus unto him, get thee hence, Satan, for it is written, thou shalt worship the Lord thy God, and him only shalt thou serve. The devil leaveth him, and behold, angels came and ministered unto him.
So there's a lot there.
There's a lot. I'm liking the 40 days and 40 nights is fasting before the ceremony that the mystics.
I have been waiting to bring that up until right here.
Yeah.
I've been sitting on it. Yeah. Did you finish that book? Did you finish it yet? No. That's the whole deal. Is John the Baptist it's very, very, very plausible that he was a part of a evolved version of Judaism in which they were spiking wine with psychedelics and worshiping the kind of bringing the mystics and Judaism together, and that Jesus went out to the desert these 40 days. That's his initiation into the cult. That's his. Yeah.
We got to do it both ways.
Totally.
For sure.
Yeah.
But that's the one. That's what I choose to believe.
Exactly.
I'm not taking. I don't think faith doesn't mean follow blindly. Like if something seems dumb and wonky, it's probably dumb and wonky.
Well, and
if you've ever done acid or mushrooms and seen like the little seams of the universe, shimmer back and forth, when you're like, what the fuck? Is there something around that reality corner? It's
like all hanging on something.
Yeah. So I'm. That's what our church is going to be.
Well,
that's what our little group is going to be. Tribe.
As we were reading this, I was thinking more, and this, even though you can, and this is why I'm excited, obviously, and have like I barely fucking sleep, right? For you to dig into this shit, because to hear objectivity in this. So like, but you do know that like the most successful monotheistic religion in history is based upon these words. So what you know is for years, people have been reading this, taking it literally, and then applying it to everything else in their life. So Jesus being tempted by the devil, if you look, he always responds with scripture.
Well, hold on. Not everybody has been reading this.
In fact, so many different.
Almost no one's been reading it. Like you keep saying, you're like,
Back in the, I'm
Well,
talking about scholars and like meant like Matthew, this tax collector, or with whatever follower, not him because we know he didn't write it, but whatever follower of his was writing this down. I'm talking about that, you know.
yeah, but no one's read this.
No one else.
I mean, like they, and honestly, what's funny is that so far, like none of this is new. Like I haven't read the Bible, but I've heard all of this so far.
Yeah, right.
So maybe that, I don't know, whatever. It's like, yeah, but I'm not entirely turned off by that. I'm just like, oh man, because I've heard this story and I'm like, oh wait, it's right in the front of the Bible. It's like, I'm super into the Old Testament. Like this is like kind of bumming me out already.
Oh dude, it gets
the New Testament.
It's gonna get worse, brother. I'm so sorry.
Well, that's why I think that, well, we'll see. Like, yeah, I like that we're doing this to just kind of juxtapose the first part of the Old Testament and the first part of the New, just to get a sense of what kind of monkey horse shit we're dealing with.
And it's crazy because the books later in the New Testament were written way before this one. Some of them, like
books later in the New Testament,
in the book, because they're kind of in an order. It goes Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans.
Right.
So like the epistles which are letters essentially. So Paul writing his churches that he's established in these parts. Those were written in like the 50s. Those were written like
by Paul.
Yeah, like 20 years.
For sure they're written by Paul.
There's of the 13 books in the New Testament from Paul, there's only 6 that can be confirmed from Paul. So about half.
Letters from Paul. Asterisks.
I guess it gets worse because the brother of Jesus wrote a book and it's in the Bible, James. And he is basically warning against Paul and hates him. And they had a fight in the temple. And so the brother of Jesus who
wrote
continues.
A book and Jesus wasn't in it.
It's because, the apostles aren't the ones who pick the books that become canonized. It's not the apostles that did it. It's a Roman governor. 200, 300 years, 400 years.
Constantine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's like,
all right. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Fucked.
Fuck off. Fuck this fucking
But
shit.
do you find anything about this text? Because this is a huge section of, Jesus. This is essentially right before Jesus starts performing miracles. He gets baptized by this massive leader in this crazy movement out in the desert, right? He goes with him out into the desert and is now tempted without food by the devil. It's like,
so saith this.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah. So basically, he came up quick. He popped quick. Like it was pretty much like never mind. He had 3 years. Yeah.
About 3-4 years of public ministry. He was 3 years. He was dead. Like he now starts teaching. He starts.
How old is he when he gets baptized? Is it like 30?
30-ish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so he's just like, yeah, okay.
And another thing too is like, well, never mind. It'll come up. I'll let it come up naturally. Yeah.
Oh,
you're like, I hate this.
Well, no, because this is just all just fluff.
Poppycock?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah. Now, when Jesus had heard that John was cast into prison, we hadn't heard that. Oh, the other thing I wanted to say was, never mind. I don't know. Okay. Now, when Jesus heard that John was cast into prison, he departed into Galilee, and leaving Nazareth, he came and dwelt in Capernaum, which is upon the sea coast, in the borders of Zabulon and Nephthalim.
Doing pretty good.
That's it. Interesting. That it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the Isaiah the prophet, saying, this is what I was going to say. I think that all these prophets quoted in the Old Testament.
Yeah.
That's why we need to finish the Old Testament. That's why we need to go timeline, because I want to have, like, I thought it was really cool. The very first thing was the
Jesus back
genealogy that we'd already been through the Old Testament.
Mm-hmm.
That was awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But I already want to have read about all of these things that the devil's quoting and that Jesus is quoting. You know what I mean?
They actually, unfortunately, a lot of them don't match up. And so what it seems to be is
That's
people.
not unfortunate to us, though.
It's unfortunate
that's
to
exactly,
fundamentalists.
yeah, that's not, to me, that's exactly why I want to know. It's like, no, that's not what he said.
Yeah, exactly.
He said my car was blue, not I'm going to Peru.
Right. And to be honest, the Greek language, which is, again, there's another thing too, is Jesus spoke Aramaic. All of these earliest writings, the writings we have are from Greek. So there's already a translation right there. But
I just want to be familiar with the prophet.
Yeah. Well, we can each one of them we can look up specifically. So when we get there, when you want, there's more coming. So when you want it, I can throw it at you. If you want it, here I am.
If you want my love, you got it. Because spoken by prophet Isaiah, saying, the land of Zabulon and the land of Nephthalim by the way of the sea beyond Jordan, Galilee of the Gentiles, the people which sat in darkness saw great light. And to them which sat in the region and shadow of death, light is sprung from. From that time, Jesus began to preach and to say, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand.
That's so crazy. We got to stop right there because Jesus seems to believe that this kingdom that the prophets have always talked about, that he is going to be, that it's about to come, that it's coming. And that is, that's in step with that post-apocalyptic thing I'm talking about. And essentially, when Jesus grew up, it was so hard for Jews. They'd been through so many different years of being conquered, right? And that is what you were saying. That's the Old Testament. When they talk about this before the Babylonian captivity, that's like a section in time where, Israel was in Jerusalem, in Israel, worshiping Yahweh, and then they get conquered by the Babylonians,
Right.
So, yeah. But Jesus,
but are you saying that when Jesus says the kingdom of heaven is at hand, are you saying that he's not talking about himself?
No, that's how a lot of people think that that's what he is, because he ends up dying. But many of his followers, now that he's going to start gathering, think that he's essentially going to go in, overthrow Rome, and be this kind of ruler, king, prophet. Because
that's not what the Catholics believe.
No,
Catholics
because he died. Because
right.
because the opposite thing happened, so they had to invent something new about it, right? No, he didn't come to set up a kingdom on earth. He came to set up a kingdom in heaven.
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the Old Testament it also says, cursed is anyone who hangs on a tree. So by Jewish law, if you're crucified, then you can't go to heaven. So they had to invent a new religion around the fact that this guy, you know what, he's not here. He's coming back.
There's a really good chance I'm not ready for the New Testament life.
I'm totally okay with this.
No,
I'm totally okay with. No, I'm feeling
you're okay. Because you're okay with what? With us reading the New Testament?
No, we'll go like an apocryphal book, maybe one that's closer.
Dude, I can't
timeline to Jesus.
It's
so hard.
Somehow the Old Testament was easier to swallow for me, or easier to just unpack. And this is too I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for I'm not going to read. I need to disassociate myself from the entire process more before we get to this, because it's
anger.
This is exactly why I'm like I am. It's I'm not believing what these people tell me. This is I'm not.
It's pretty intense.
I'm not sheep, and I guess I'm just not. I'm not taking this as a. I was sort of busting your balls a little bit about being too whatever, and it's I'm fuck this. I can't read this shit.
Well, and we're not even the books of Paul are worse, because that's the shit where it's women must sit in silence and learn at home from their husbands in all submission. So it's you see is different eras and different times of this narrative of this Savior that can't be here. He's not here because he's in heaven. Right. So it's
so
look out.
I think that we could read this, but we can't read the polished version. We have to like
Well,
it can't be just because I
that's
need
keep
go
going.
ahead.
Oh, well, that's
Yeah.
why I picked the King James, because the King James is like the most misogynistic, most fucked up, and I think the closest, back then to what might have been actually been trying to say. And unfortunately, if we get into, and maybe we could do that, maybe we could do a podcast on how we got the Bible, these 66 books that were canonized. And maybe we talk about that now. Like, so with your aversion to the text right now, how you're feeling right now, what area do we need to look at? History? Do we need to look at figures of the church? Do we need to look at Israel more?
What do you mean?
To like get you ready to read, because there is 27 books in this. This is what Christians believe.
I think we need to start with the Old Testament. I think we need
the
to
Old
keep
Testament's
going on.
so long, dude. And there's like full books of genealogies. Like,
well, I'm okay with. I mean, we can skip genealogies, like, but we're. I don't know, like, I just don't think that. And I'm just saying, like, this is this is like going to church, and I don't care about church because church is full of shit that's liars.
Well,
and it's
why
like,
can't we just read it and say that? Maybe that would even help people, because
we can, but like I'm telling you, I'm having like a reaction to it, and it's just visceral. Like I don't want to be angry. Like I want to deaden my.
You want to be able to be objective.
I want to deaden my senses to it, and they're not deadened enough.
Yeah, just trigger.
Well, it's just like, it's like my boundaries, and it's like
Spidey senses.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there are like, it's that's why I wanted to start with Mark, the Gospel of Mark.
This is Matthew.
Yeah, but remember when we finished Genesis, you were like, let's start with the first book of the New Testament. And we both agreed that was right. Because we've been going back and forth. Right. Exodus was on the chopping block there for a minute too. But like, and like we could skip around in the Old Testament, but Mark, it's such a different gospel than all the other ones. It's much shorter. Jesus never claims he's God. In the earliest texts we have that seem to be correct, Jesus gets mad when he heals someone. Jesus is very human. Like, he's really sad a lot. He's trying to help people, and he's like burdened. And like when he goes to be crucified, he like says, the only thing I think he says is, "It is what you say it is." When they go, "Are you the king of the Jews?" And he says, "You say so." So there's a totally different.
Sounds like John Lennon.
Exactly. And like Jesus comes from this place called Nazareth, right? This town. And there's only about 100 families that live there. They don't have roads. They have one well. They have one cistern. They don't have schools. They don't have a synagogue. Everyone in their house would have like 2 rooms and have the livestock in the other room. So they live with their animals. They're all farmers. And Jesus, most likely, because there's no carpentry in this hillside village that's not even on any map back then or ever mentioned in the Old Testament, I believe, would go to this place called Cyprus, which was the capital city every day, because that was where the work was. And the people that he would work on, their houses, were the Jews who would fall in line with Rome and therefore reap the financial benefits and status of being a Roman citizen, essentially. They're getting paid by Rome. So this Jew from the hillside country land would walk in every day and work and see on the extravagance of the people's homes, furniture that he believed was bastardizing their heritage and religion, right? By worshiping Caesar. So if you read that and that first gospel, Jesus really is like this revolutionary rebel figure that came to overthrow this government. But Matthew, Luke, and John is even worse. Jesus is like fucking basically got laser beams in John, which is the latest gospel. It's worse than this, dude. So we might want to go to like Job or something, like something in the Old Testament.
Okay.
I was trying to like somehow decelerate you from the anger and maybe paint a picture of Jesus that is different, that we could still see through these obviously messed with stories. Hopefully,
I mean, we
but
can
I don't
finish reading
see.
this. We can finish reading it. And I just like,
No way, dog.
the questions I've always asked you are never about this. It's always about the Old Testament. I didn't realize that until just now. It's like, this is just going to make me mad. And I guess what I'd like to do is read the Old Testament.
Or
And maybe by the time we're done with that, and you can pick and choose it doesn't need to be in any order, but it's like, that's the original document that this is all based on. And all, like I was saying, all the cliff notes, footnotes is what I was looking for earlier.
Yeah.
I don't care about Jesus Christ. He's not, I don't care about.
Well,
that's
but
not my.
We haven't read all the stories about him yet. You might change your mind, but
I'm not saying
you
I don't
care about people's blown up shitty version of Jesus Christ that they.
Yes, that's exactly correct. I'm
Yeah.
sure he was a great dude. He had killer hair.
He wasn't the best, actually. He definitely hung around a bunch of degenerates.
Well, that seems like my kind of guy.
Yep, that's what I'm saying. You might like him at the end.
No, it's not like you're right. I'm not saying I don't care about Jesus Christ. I don't care about the stories about Jesus Christ.
It's really rough.
Yeah, and so I don't know. You're just not into just ripping through the Old Testament.
No, I am into, because this is what, I have been so excited because there's what comes about in the New Testament is what essentially like all the theology, what people believe and practice of Christians. This is the Christian literature, right? Because the Old Testament
but Christians are full of shit, though.
Maybe not the earliest ones. Yeah, I don't know. But
well, none of the earliest ones are represented here. And the earliest ones that were cool were ended with Jesus. Okay. And maybe there were a few afterwards who were still taking the peyote, but for our purposes, those people are not represented in these stories.
That's the deal.
These stories are all a funnel.
And it's going to get worse. And that's what I'm saying. Is it's going to get so much worse because, like, right here, repent for the king.
But you're not convincing me to go on with.
Oh, I'm trying to get us into the Old Testament. Yeah, we'll read the whole Old Testament. We'll read every apocryphal book. We'll do whatever you're comfortable with, because I'm committed for the whole book, right? And so I don't care what order we go in. I just want to be able to. When I didn't do this podcast forever because of what just happened to you. When you read these stories, you just start getting, and I mean, that's part of the reason that I lean into it so hard and have tried to like reason with it, because maybe that is what they used to call sin in my life, but I don't think so, right?
Maybe what is sin? The fact that you can't get through this without gritting your teeth?
There's a visceral reaction to everything.
No, that's because you don't like being lied to. That's because you don't like being led astray. That's because you don't like being led astray by people who are supposed to be the shepherds.
Right.
It's like, this has nothing to do with sin or mortality or morality or your soul.
It gets
no. This document does not have anything to do with your soul, Leif. It doesn't.
Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah. No, I agree.
It doesn't have anything to do with right and wrong. It doesn't have, and I don't even know. I'm just saying, I'm just saying that this is a bill of sale that they're trying to sell you, so you believe you have to go through them to get to heaven. That's what this is. And
100.
And I'm just saying that, like, I thought I was ready to read this and we could do it, but I just don't want to be angry the whole time. So I'm not going to be my best self until I've acclimated to reading the Bible a little bit more. And I think we should do that because I want to pick and honestly, this isn't even worth my time. Like, at least the Old Testament is like, it's not a bill of sale necessarily.
It's pretty rough. Just as your friend, I'm warning you, Genesis might be the best. I really like Job. That's why I think I might take you.
You're saying next. Genesis is the only one worth reading, and we're it's like, well, the whole thing is kind of a one-hit wonder, and the rest of it's kind of filler, Geoff.
Yeah, there's like the book of Psalms. It's huge. It's in the Old Testament, and it's just songs, so it's like lyrics.
Is this why
The
no one reads it?
whole, yes, dog.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Yes, man. And we did pretty good. We got 4 chapters. Sometimes you only get one verse, because it's so rough. And I'm like, the other thing I was trying to bring up, which will help you put a nail in the coffin of all this, is right there. We see that Jesus seems to believe the end of times is here. And so why weren't these?
Well, again, hold on. What are you saying from that? Where are you taking that from?
Let me just open this back up real quick. Because I want to read it. I got a little baked.
Cast into prison.
No, right at the end there, 4:17. For that time, Jesus began to preach and say, repent, which is turn away from the evils you're doing, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. And then what will happen, and we're not going to do it, but the rest of the Gospels and seem to all agree, and there's a bunch more verses that will back this up, that Jesus believed they were living at the end of time. That's why it took so long for them to write down stories about him. That's why none of these stories are from eyewitnesses. Okay. They all died.
Well, my problem with that is that I loved the part where he was the first deadbeat dad. That's amazing. And he said, "I'll be right back. Just gonna go get some smokes. Keep the fire lit. Keep it lit, man." But even that part is like, yeah, it's going to be challenging.
See what I'm saying?
Well, it's just, I guess we can do it.
No. Here's the thing. Like that Immortality key book, the thing I respected so much is that guy didn't do any psychedelics before he did the book. And, I don't want to, and that's why it took me so long to start this. I don't want to be angry. I don't want to come to this with emotional baggage. I want to be able to look at it because there are some, there's so many writings and there's like so many years and there's so many languages and there's so many errors and there's so many different interpretations. And it's so intense that like a lot of this might have some truths that are ringing out, but we're not going to be able to see that because the blaring bullshit. Well,
I don't think you can. I don't think you can.
I'll give you a point.
You said probably.
Okay, because that's the best we can do. Is all we know. Here's for me reading this the whole New Testament so many times. We know that a bunch of 12 people after this guy was totally not allowed to be the Messiah of Israel anymore because he was crucified on a tree, and that excludes him from all the prophecies of the Old Testament. Believed in him so much, including his brothers, that they went out and started a totally new religion about him. And from these people, we get Catholics, Protestants, Presbyterians, Baptists, right? So this religion is still Christians. Prominent, and which is, so it's so fucked.
Well, that's why do you have to say all of that because all you need to say is that last thing.
Yeah,
it's just so fucked. Like it's a religion and it's based on what happens to you when you die. That's the whole game.
Something you can't prove. Can't prove it. Well, it's
not only can you not prove it, they ask you to just not worry about that you can't prove it. You'll see. I promise. Have faith.
It's like, accounted to you as righteousness. Yeah. Faith, hope in the things not seen is what the Bible says.
Yeah. And it's fine. We can.
Jesus says,
I feel so sorry for people,
man.
Right. I don't know. Like you're an amazing person. So you're doing okay. And you got brainwashed and immersed in this thing. That you only by the grace of Leif the god, who is of divine bloodline, were you able to free yourself from the yoke of religion and start looking at the world in a realistic way?
Yeah.
Start seeing things for what they are. And I don't know.
What really helped for me Well, because when I was really young, I was obsessed, obviously, with all this because it was, and I was, like you said, it's almost like Stockholm syndrome type stuff. But like this one, one of these crazy pastors that was actually probably horrible, definitely homophobic, misogynistic, probably said a bunch of bad stuff. But he said this thing. Well, when you're a kid that grows up in church, the only thing you really care about is like the will of God. You want to find God's will for your life because if you do that, you can't fail because you're in line with God. So even if it's hard, it's going to be successful. Reaching the most people you can with the gospel of Christ, essentially, right? So this guy from the pulpit goes, if you want to know God's will for your life, read all the parts of the Bible you haven't highlighted. Essentially read all the parts of the Bible you haven't. And I was like, and that, like, I was pretty young, maybe like 16. And that's when I started going like, let's read Genesis. And then you're like, what the fuck? And then like, by the time you get to Habakkuk, you're like,
I'm an alien that's going to fuck humans? This is great.
It's like, yeah, it's like, it's so bananas. But like, there really are, and just to play devil's advocate on this, objectivity kind of angle, Jesus has some really great sayings, and for him, he's like,
dude,
yeah. Well,
how do you know they're his? How do you know they're his?
Well, because everyone forever kind of seems to attribute to them. Like for instance, he give to the poor, give to the needy. If so, and be kind to your enemy. If someone asks you for your cloak, give them your tunic also.
Yeah, but that's not. But honestly, that's not Jesus. That's not original to Jesus. It's like that's just common sense. That's just being a good person. And Jesus was not the first good person. You know what I mean? It's like if you have to listen to read this book. If you have to read this book to be a good person, then you're not a good person. Or I don't know what the problem is. Or you should put your computer down or your phone down or something and like try to, resonate with the universe. But like, that Jesus in India. Have you seen the documentary that Jesus in India?
Yeah, there's a whole gospel of Thomas. Jesus' twin brother goes to India. And so Jesus, after his crucifixion, starts appearing to his twin brother over there.
Well, no, there's a documentary that says that Jesus was there. And
he like shows up. Oh,
but like, he traveled there after the,
no, I don't know anything about it.
He didn't die on the cross. He went over, or maybe he was there early. I think he was there. This says he was there earlier, but whatever. It doesn't even matter. But like, I'm just saying that like, so this guy was not the son of God. Okay. He was not immortal. He was probably whatever. It's just
so first of all, remember what I said? The earliest gospel we have, Jesus never declares himself to be the Son of God.
Well, yeah. And isn't it Constantine who that's when he becomes the Son of God?
No. So here's what happens is like these Jews, we're kind of seeing these practicing, Jews, Israelites. They worship this old God, right?
But after he's dead,
I think there are two more sentences, right? They've been prophesying using this Old Testament, these scrolls that everyone's familiar with, these words, but then Jesus, the opposite of what they wanted happened. He doesn't conquer. He doesn't rule. He gets killed on a cross, and now he's totally excluded from those prophecies because the prophet, the Messiah, the anointed one of the Old Testament, never dies on the tree. If you die on a tree, you're cursed of God, so you can't even be it, right? So they all know that. So they had to invent a new. So they take these prophecies from different parts and put together. No, at this point, it said this about that, and they know this because they have they're all familiar with it. So it'd be like everyone reading the Da Vinci Code and being like, no, it means this. And then that spawns a whole new religion.
I thought that there was some sort of gathering of people when they canonized or whatever.
Yeah. The Council of Nicaea, that's about 365 or something like that, like almost 400.
Before that, he was a prophet. And after that, he was the Son of God. Right? That's what I was talking about.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like that was a fabrication built to, like that's a fabric. That's like some people decided that, and it wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like the religion of Jesus, whatever he was worshiping, became the religion about him. And I bet you that was the opposite of what he was actually going for.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would rather read the stuff that came before him to, you know what I mean? Just as far as like, just to get me, like I said, just to get me acclimated to being Genesis is such a fucking
fucking rad.
super like a blockbuster.
Yeah.
That it's like it's sort of hard to you're not even reading the Bible,
It's like Terminator 1 and 2. It's like
right.
Like
but this is just like this is like Sunday school all over again.
It's so bad, dude. And it gets
I know
worse.
all this shit, and it's
That's
like you people are feeding me this and expect me to swallow it.
It's real rough, man. There's even like so.
But
okay, yeah.
Seriously, like listen, because I can't do it.
Yeah, right? No, we already decided we're not. We're going to Job. I don't know. We're going to.
Yeah.
But I think fucking. I think it's.
I'm totally
good.
okay.
I think it's the right move.
Well, I'm totally okay. Like I would like to do Genesis, and I would like to do. We just read Genesis over and over again.
We could do Revelation. We could do the last book of the Bible.
Maybe we should start there. Yeah,
that's like it's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
There's
again though,
demons that are like scorpions come from heaven.
See, the thing is, I'm just not into. I need to get deadened. Like I said, I need to I'm not into the Yeah, that's a bunch of. It's not.
Well,
it's not coming from a place like this. Is not coming from a place, and I don't know why I think the Old Testament necessarily is, but. This is not oral tradition passing on stories. The Old Testament seems like there's more ancient knowledge in the Old Testament that's buried in there, where you're saying like some of this might be really good. It's like no, this is all this is a funnel to get you to fucking fall into the hole and abide.
Admittedly so from the books. Each gospel is directed and curated and changed to fit different social groups and different beliefs over time to get them to believe in Christ. It's like it's in the Bible. The books are there.
Get that. Okay, and that's okay.
Yeah, so it's worse.
But
it's worse.
Yeah, I would like to read the Bible that was in place before the Council of Norad or whatever you called it.
Nicaea. Yeah, for Constantine. Yeah, and so that would be a different thing too, and that's what I was about to ask. So the other books, are like, it's weird that like the Gospel of Mary Magdalene, who is like.
Well, let's read that.
We could do that. That's what I was going to say. Is there's
there's
other Christian writings that are. Let's read that. I've never read it either. I've never read that one. Well, because I've been working through the apocryphal ones, but they're. I've been doing.
Let's read all the ones that got left out because they got left out for a reason.
I think we have to go back and forth, and I do that because there's people that are constantly reaching out to us. There's people that are like reading Bibles with their families now because of this, and these are the stories that they need to know more about the Bible because they haven't read it.
But that but this, I'm not doing this for anybody but me and you. And I no, seriously, I'm not fucking. No one's reaching out to me, Leif. I'm not hearing about families reading the Bible, and I don't care. Like we're doing this because like we like doing it. It's like, but I have to be having fun, and I can't I'm not trying to save anyone. I'm not trying to like.
No, I'm not. Yeah. So I always do.
I'm not trying to do. What's that?
It's just keep going, Reverend.
Yeah, I just like I don't want to. I appreciate if people want to listen. That's great, but I want to read it because I never have, and I want to read it with you because you have a million times, and we obviously both have our fucking baggage that we can't let go. Because I'm like fucking an hour into this, and I'm like ready to fucking throw my computer into the wall.
Oh, dude, this is like 2.5 hours.
Yeah, so it's like but I could we could go back and forth, but let's start with Mary Magdalene. That sounds like a good. Yeah. If you've never read it, then let's go there. Well, because it just this part about I didn't realize it was going to be. I've probably read most of this. You know, I mean,
and like
I
I
went to
said,
church for 18 years.
you're gonna be familiar.
So it's
This
like,
is the
I was
Christian
hoping
faith.
there was a bunch of, like, there was some cool shit like Genesis, but what I really wanted to read was the Old Testament. I
Okay,
think
well,
that's,
I mean, there is Revelations, and like I said, it should be on the
again, but
chopping block because it's fucking crazy.
I'm
Well,
not, it's not on the chopping block, but it's not going to be as cool to me as anything in the Old Testament because of who wrote it.
yeah,
You know what I
well,
mean? Because of the time
yes,
period, because it's far more
I totally
current.
get it. No, I
You know what I
totally
mean? It's
get
like,
it.
we don't know when the Old Testament was written. We got no dates for that.
It's yeah,
I mean,
right.
you know,
Yeah,
and yes, it's been put together
yeah.
as a document, but
But even on the fact that it's based on oral stories, we don't know how long those stories were in circulation.
maybe it was oral stories, maybe it was written, and they're forgotten. The people who wrote it
Right?
were lost in some crazy,
Yep.
meteor
The
strike. I
bridge.
don't know, man. Yeah,
It's still the oral tradition throughout the years to get it here. Yeah, we don't know. And it drips with that as you read it. It kind of like you realize like, fuck, this is like old as fuck, man. When you read the Old Testament. The New Testament, it's like, oh, this is curated straight.
dude.
Straight
Dude,
for this.
it's fucking spoon-fed fucking pop music, and I'm not into it yet.
Yeah, it's really, and it unfortunately, like I'm trying to warn, and I know I know this. I'm not being repetitive. This is on purpose because I want to prime you better to get into it because I really want to get into it with you.
Well,
but here's the deal: it gets much worse.
You know what? Here's the deal. Like, I can't, like, I'm good.
Yeah.
I can't promise. Like,
I will
we
Yeah,
might
I
have to
don't care.
tiptoe around this thing for a
Sure.
long time because
Yeah.
like, if I'm not into reading this so that people get into it, like,
No,
I'll read
I'm
it.
reading it for me and you.
Yeah,
I just like the fact that what I was going for, and we're already abandoned. It's totally fine. Is there are people that's because we're watching the downloads and stuff. It seems to be people around the world that like it a lot, and they're like, I think people are taking solace in learning more and more about these stories that they're so familiar with, but they had no idea. They've never really read. Yeah,
that they were so full of shit.
No one has. It's all guarded because if you're talking about this, you're fucking playing with your soul because no one wants to go to hell, and that's how they keep everyone in line. And it's really unfortunate.
Okay,
Hell,
well, if that's the goal, then I can totally sign up to poke holes in that all day long.
yeah. Well, no, I think what we should do is go through what we're gonna do. Is we'll talk right now after this, and we'll figure out.
This is totally what you wanted to. He thinks he's so fucking smug. He thinks he's so over it. Watch this.
Dude,
watch it.
I've been running for 2 hours a day for the last like 7 days, listening to this book over and over again, and like
He's
different.
gonna fucking flip his lid.
Oh my god, you have no idea. Yeah. Oh, it's so rough. So I think it's good. Wherever the Spirit leads us, we're going to go. And the great thing about this religion is it is a religion of the book. Judaism was a religion of the book. Christianity and Judaism. They have a text.
Those religions?
Yeah, certain religions, like definitely from the Hellenistic ages, are like they don't have books.
I don't know what that is, Hellenistic, but I think that the Christian religion
like
is full
all the
of shit. I think it's not a good thing. I think it's not a good thing that they have a book. I think
that's what I'm telling you, dog. That's what I've been saying.
Like, it's the cliff notes that like this is what you.
It's rough.
Yeah.
It's dude. That's what I've been saying.
If this is what you're following, it's like, oh my god, how smart are you? And I don't mean to like, sorry, but it's like if you can't.
Well, we could.
You're signing up for.
There's like a lot of evidence, like these old critics of Christianity that essentially say that it's like it's the religion of the unlearned and the women, and they will like get a hold of a child and take them to the secret meetings and indoctrinate them, but like will stay silent in front of the men of the town that have some sort of education. Yeah. So it's like, but also,
anybody who can think for themselves is not their people.
No, I mean, no, but I think we fucking did it. I think we're on the course of pretty soon it's going to say the path of the righteous is narrow. Most people don't follow it. So it's like the hard path of whatever book text we have to go to really like unemotionally approach this. We will. Old Testament. This textual criticism might be something you like too. Have you ever heard of that? And there's about 5,800 different codexes and manuscripts that make up these 66 books and other writings of the Bible. And there's like people that spent their entire life reading the original language, writing books and books and books. So we could even do that. It's really interesting, but it will prove everything you just said. So you basically already got there.
I just got to the chase and fucking go back to Genesis.
So, I don't know. Maybe we just do yoga. I don't know. What do we?
Right.
Like?
Let's get high and do yoga. Let's get high and no. I just like. It's fucking funny.
It's rough, man. Like that's I say that to not offend anyone. Because it gets really ludicrous too. Like it's already like I'm so appalled that it doesn't show. That's the beginning of the Bible. It talks a little bit of it, like it starts on Christmas. Basically, it starts on the Holy Conception. Well, it starts by tying him all the way back to fucking David. You know, it's like it's
starts
all a literary device. It's all
real quick. I want to go over this with you.
Yep. Yeah. And again, like there's the reason we know this is because there's tons of other writings.
Joseph, they tie to Jacob and right. Who's the and Israel? Joseph, not John the Baptist. They tied Joseph
because
who's not
by
even
law,
Christ's father.
Because women didn't mean anything, and so it doesn't matter if it's not his father because he fathered him. It's still like, yeah. But again, so Joseph is a mess. Joseph disappears right after this, by the way. Never mentioned again. And there's a time where Jesus is like in his hometown, and no one believes that he's the Messiah because they're like, aren't you Mary's boy? And they don't mention Joseph, and that's like, for that time, that's insane. So that speaks so loud to the fact that Joseph was probably not present. So also Jesus has a bunch of brothers and a bunch of sisters, like at least 3 or 4 brothers.
Well, maybe we should start with the like Mary Magdalene and then the Gospel of Jacob.
There isn't a Gospel of Jacob.
Make one up.
That's what everyone did to make the Bible, by the way.
Okay, then that's where we're going to start. We're going to start our church. The gospel is the church according to Jacob.
Should we write our own? Should we write our? No, I don't. Jacob's not the best. Jacob's not the best.
I thought he was Jesus' brother.
James.
Who's James? James is Jesus. James is Jesus' brother.
And he writes the shortest book in the Bible because he was just like he was named James the Just. He's my favorite.
And his theme song was "Giving it away, giving it away, giving it away, giving it away." Now, right?
Exactly. And he gets killed by this priest because.
So let's read his. Let's read his.
It's only 3, 4. It's only like 5 chapters.
We already read it today.
We'll read it. We could read it next week. It's my favorite book.
Yeah.
It says true Christianity is this: to give to the fatherless and the widowed, and to keep oneself unstained from the world. Maybe my favorite verse in the Bible.
Nice.
Yeah.
Way to just drop that.
I got a lot of them on tap.
Let's make sure they're not the shitty ones, though.
They mostly are, because that's how they train you. Is Nietzsche helps for any Christian who doesn't think it's great for fundamentalists to read Nietzsche, but like everything, because you're here, you're already separated from God by sin, so you're evil and awful, and everything about you.
No, it says in the fucking Old Testament that every fruit tree here is for you. Don't give me that shit, man. It says it before. It says it before, and it doesn't say anywhere that because Adam and Eve ate the thing that's our shit to deal with. It doesn't say that.
Right. This is the religion of Jesus, which was probably some psychedelic wine ritual that had priestess in it. That became the religion about Jesus, that was changed for political power, for money, for moves, and was adapted over 300 years before it finally kind of slightly carterizes into anything that is like oh, this is a church, this is an organization, and then has been used as manipulation politically from the end of time. It's fucking insane.
Yep.
Wow, that was a rant, I guess. Well, why don't we say goodbye? Because we got to figure out, we've got a lot of people that actually want to come on. So we got to figure out some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Reverend Redding,
Fuck
I'm really
that.
glad to do this with you, buddy.
Let me reiterate. Let me cross some T's and dot some I's real quick. I don't hate Jesus Christ. I think Jesus was probably a good dude.
Yeah.
I think that organized religion is a sham. I think that God, or whatever it's called, is inside each of us, and that all you need to do to be a good person is to look inside yourself.
Agree.
You don't need someone to tell you how to be good.
Amen.
Fuck. That's all I got.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we love you all. See you next week. Yeah. Holy bajoli, right? I mean, come on. It's ridiculous. This is hard. Thank you guys all so much for listening. It's rad. It's really rad. I really appreciate it. I'm going to go to bed because I'm leaving for my honeymoon in about 2 hours. Okay.